welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family. Hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Andrea. We're going to be dilly-daddling a little bit. Then we're talking about DEI, and then we're going to be talking about placentas. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. This is the last time that we will be meeting before our 200th episode.
It's great. Like, I remember when we hit 100 and I was like, this is insane. And now that we've hit 200, I mean, what's past insane? I don't even know. It's astounding. It's astounding.
Okay.
I'm very proud of us, though.
I am proud of us too, especially considering the fact that you didn't think that we was going to make it to episode 10.
You bring that up every milestone we hit. Every single milestone, you bring it up. I thought we would. I didn't think so. Okay, I admit it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't think we were going to make it, but here we are.
Look, because of your ADHD, we might have not made it, but because of my meticulous obsession,
right,
we're here.
Right.
We've gotten some interesting feedback about what we should do for the 200th episode, and we did this for the 100th episode, but I know that we have some new listeners, some new watchers that may not go back and watch. It's so many episodes to go back, and you would really only do it if you're right. Yes. Math.
Right.
Yes. And you would really only do it if you're a huge fan of ours to go back and binge them. It's not like we're something that you can really truly binge like a television show. Because we'd be talking about some real stuff and you're going to get your feelings hurt and your heart broke dealing with us. You're going to take you on an emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
You're going to laugh. You might cry. You're going to be angry. It's going to be all those things. And you can only take us in doses.
Yeah.
So it was brought to my attention, hey, why don't we answer listener and watcher questions? And we had some really, really dedicated listeners. I'm not going to point out who they are, but y'all know who you are, who gave us a list of questions and said, hey, maybe you guys could answer these questions. Now, some of them, we ain't going to answer all of them because it was a lot. But I also encourage the audience, hey, contact us through DM, through our Instagram. Don't try and DM me, DM us on TikTok because we don't be answering those. But on Instagram, on Instagram, go on our website. You can email us directly and send us questions or suggestions or things that you want us to talk about it. And if it's appropriate, we'll talk about them. Some questions, a lot of times y'all be asking real personal stuff. And I know we be personal in here sometimes, but we don't be too personal.
Like what are some examples? I'm curious.
I don't remember. It was a lot of, so Bruce, what's your type? Who have you been with?
Got you.
How come you didn't call me back? And I'm like, yo, that's a real personal question. That don't have nothing to do with the show.
That's y'all just trying to get your own little answers. No, ask us actual questions that everybody would want the answer to, not just you.
and the reason why I didn't call you back is because your breath stank. I didn't want to say it to your face, but it stank.
So we're gonna say it on a public podcast instead.
Yeah, because I'll have to say it to him directly. I don't never have to run into him again. I got him blocked on Instagram anyway.
Okay, well, there you go.
Stank ass breath. Now it was foul. I was like, yo, did you brush your teeth this morning?
It might have been a dead tooth or something in their digestive system or something. There's a lot of reasons for halitosis.
Look, if it was in her digestive system, she must have ate bad liver and onions.
Or she just ate liver and onions.
Oh, or that.
Sorry for the people who like that. Like our mother. I don't. I can't.
So
No,
country. So
no.
country. So give us your suggestions for the 200th episode. We'll be filming this time next week, 200. So you only got 6 days. So
Yeah.
well, actually, from when this airs, you got 3. So
Yeah. Yeah.
get the
So
questions in.
get them in now.
Get 'em in.
The fact is, if you got something, a burning question, go ahead and type it in and get it to us right now. Right this
Right.
second.
Matter of fact, pause the
Pause the episode.
episode.
Just go ahead and
and write it.
pause. We'll wait.
Well, I'm not gonna wait.
Right. Go ahead and pause.
Go ahead and pause.
And go ahead and ask your question now.
Just ask the question. So that's the 200th episode. We're really happy about it. Thank you guys for rocking with us, and we'll probably get into some more sappy stuff on the next episode. But
Yeah.
for this episode, I want to do a revisit to the last episode.
Okay.
This is what I mean by this. Your kid's Olympic story has gotten
boy.
such feedback.
Oh my God.
People are dying laughing about this story. Now, they often love your stories and the way that you speak and do things. The audience loves you. If we did a Q rating on me versus you, I'm scoring way low.
Don't get your feelings hurt by doing it.
Look.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Look, it ain't hurting my feelings. I know this is Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony, but I know who the real star of the show is. Look, I get it. And
we are an ensemble.
Yes.
Please, we are an ensemble. It only works with the both of us.
Yes. But somebody's got to be the straight man, and I do that, and I think I do it quite well. But they just were like, the story is hilarious. And in my mind, I'm like, well, this is the first time I heard that story, but I know there's a million stories that you and our brother have of just y'all shenanigans.
Yeah. We were very interesting children. So yes, we do have a lot of shenanigans. And I always had some sort of scheme. And we were not shy children. Like it did not bother me at all to go door to door in our neighborhood and ask people for money. Like it just seemed like the next step. I have to raise capital in order to get this kid's Olympics off the ground. And so, yeah, there are plenty of stories with me and our younger brother engaging in shenanigans.
Somebody also said that's such a 90s thing. Like
it is very much.
That is such a going door to door, asking for a donation. Like you wouldn't do that now. Too many murder criminal minds and crime shows just let you know that you're gonna knock on the wrong door and it's gonna be some Silence of the Lambs type situation.
Yeah, I mean, everything about the story was very 90s. Like the fact that, Dan and Dave, I mean, I don't even know if you have to be our age or older to remember that. Mm-hmm. That whole campaign, like everything about that story was very, very 90s. The fact that children are knocking on strangers' doors and all that, it was very, very 90s. It was a safe era.
And I think it was a Reebok. I think they were sponsored by Reebok. And truth be told, I haven't seen too many people rocking the Reebok. I know Reebok is still out there. The shoe is still out there.
It definitely is.
I just haven't seen it. Because I remember the old Reebok classics, the all whites.
Yeah, them soft Reeboks. Yes.
They used to be, people used to rock them, right? Yeah. But I don't really, I mean, I know the answer. AI relaunched his shoe like Jordan does old releases, and those were popular. But most people ain't really rocking, at least to my knowledge. I don't see it. But I live in an area where everybody rocks New Balance. I don't know why DC is such a New Balance area.
It's always been very, very New Balance. But you know what? I'm looking at, I'm on the Reebok website. It's not, hey, I don't wear these. So, give us some more, bring them back. Let's see some advertisements. Yeah.
But actually, when you think about it, when's the last time you seen a shoe commercial? I mean, Nike still does shoe commercials, but like, oh no, I guess Adidas does, but it's just soccer.
Yeah. I mean, but when's the last time I seen a commercial? So that's also it.
I will not pay to get rid of the ads. So I be seeing commercials all the
Oh,
time.
okay. So I know the only platform that honestly is truly pissing me off is Prime, because I pay a lot of money annually and they have added commercials and ads in, and I'm just like, well, what am I paying you for?
Well, Basil's got to get some more money, I guess.
It how, why?
I don't know. I mean, the more money, more problems. I guess he got more. You know, he got to give. He had to give half. You know,
Well, yeah, that's true.
he had to give half. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right, then it makes sense then.
You know, instead of 400 billion, he had 200 billion, and I guess it's not a lot that you can do when there's 200 billion missing. I mean, you can't just be building spaceships and flying in there. It's not outer space. It's not inner space. Inner space was a movie from the 80s.
Right, because I'm wondering, what is inner
It-
space?
well, the movie was a great movie, by the way, where they went in this dude's ear. They miniaturized them and shrunk him and went into this dude's ear, and he
Yes,
was going out through all the body. That was a crazy movie.
I am
Anyway, so
looking at it. It stars Martin Short, 1987.
yes,
I do not remember this film at all. It looks,
that's because he was born in '84.
yeah, it looks terrible, but I definitely want to watch it. So I'm gonna see where I can watch it.
You could probably watch it on Prime. They got it.
They got it on Prime and Apple TV. So
There you go, right there in his face.
honestly, it's going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel on February 4th at 8:55 a.m.
Look,
and again on February 5th at 6 a.m. So if you have Sci-Fi Channel and
like,
you want to get up early on a Wednesday, you can watch
in his face.
you can watch Inner
Martin
Space and Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan.
Yeah, wait a minute. Isn't Dennis Quaid like problematic right now?
No, that's his brother Randy. That's Randy.
Well, Randy always been a little different.
Yeah.
Speaking
No,
of family,
Randy is the mess. Yeah.
speaking of family,
Yeah.
going back to the kids' Olympic story, people were saying your sister is so funny when they tell the story. And I keep telling people in the hierarchy of funny in our family, just to deal with the siblings, if y'all think my sister is funny, she got nothing on our brother. Our
But
brother,
you can't tease people like that because he will not come on the show, ladies and
he
gentlemen.
won't.
So, like,
He won't.
don't ask. Like, don't ask. He won't do it. And so it's kind of hard to like say that. And then people are like, well, now we have to hear from him. And it's like, you're not going to.
Also, it's an expectation, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, he's the funniest one out the bunch. And then to come on the show, like, there's a certain type of energy that you have to bring to present yourself to push out what emotion that you're trying to push out. And our brother is very
Deadpan.
deadpan and really situational. So
Yes.
if we put him on the spot, he might not be funny. I don't know too many people who are funny and just run us like, be funny. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Like, I'm not no
no,
comedian. I
no,
can't just
I'm not a
be funny.
comedian. I'm not a comedian. I'm not a comedic actor. I'm not any of those things. I see stuff. And honestly, I'm not trying to be funny, you guys. A lot of people laugh at the things I say, but I'm very serious when I don't really make jokes that often. So I kind of want to put that out there a little bit too. I don't make jokes that often, y'all. I don't know why y'all be laughing. I'm serious. So
Look, I said something to somebody the other day, and it was absolutely just mean, mean. And they broke out laughing because it was funny.
yeah.
So I can't remember exactly what it was, but somebody was telling me a story, and I've had a bunch of people recently tell me a bunch of stories that go nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the point? Where's the punchline? And
Right.
I'm at that age now where I am comfortable enough saying, wrap it up, speed it up. I'm starting to go bored. Right?
I'll do the simple. I'll roll my fingers and be like, wrap it up. Like I'll do that because sometimes you gotta speed people along.
Right. So a bunch of people have been telling me stories in which they've done actions or responded a certain way. And I was like, where did they do that at? Like, why would you do that? That's
Right.
kind of dumb. I know you were thinking that you would tell me and I would be on your side, but no, what you just did was idiotic. And I don't know, I can't compute what it is, your action and your response. So it was a string of people giving me these type of stories and me just being fed up. So this person was telling me a story.
Okay.
And then, first of all, the story was too long and they weren't getting to the point. And I was like, hey man, wrap this up. Get quicker to the point. Get quicker to the point.
Right.
And so they got to the point, and I was like, that was what you wanted to tell me?
Right.
The person was like, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. And I was like, you know what? I've had it with people giving me dumb stories that lead with no point. Present company not excluded.
Right. That's what I said.
And they were like, oh, damn, that's not how you normally say it. You normally say present company excluded. I said, no, specifically not excluded. You just told me a dumbass story.
Very much inclusive of you.
You just told me a dumbass story that was a waste of my time. I felt like doing that. What was it? The not the Happy Gilmore, the Billy Madison thing, where did the little speech where they did the little academic special. Everybody knows the Billy Madison, where he had to go back to school and he had to do this competition in the high school. And the guy was like, we are sitting here dumber from ever listening.
Yes.
That's what I want. I wanted to do that big monologue, but I can't even remember exactly the scene as I just tried to describe it just now. So
I know the scene. I know the scene. So it's could I tell you exactly what the scene? No, but I do remember in response to whatever Billy said, the guy there was like, we are all dumber for having listened to you just now. Like, so I definitely remember that.
And that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I felt dumber. I told the person, I was like, that was a dumb ass story. You and all the parties that were in the story are just dumb for the way that y'all responded. Mm-hmm. Everybody's being idiotic. And don't ever tell me no story like that again. Matter of fact, time out. And this is who I am now at this age. Y'all be thinking we're funny. We're actually
very mean.
Yeah, we're really mean.
Very mean. So I don't know what the takeaway is for that, but it's just letting you know we're not very nice.
Yeah, we're not. I mean,
well, that was I've been called not nice,
and that bothered you to no end.
It didn't bother me.
No, it was just
the first time that somebody articulated what is in fact the truth. Like, I'm not saying that it's not the truth. I'm acknowledging that it's the truth. I'm not a conventionally nice person or even a friendly person. I'm kind, and that's, I think, more important. But am I going to go out of my way? And no, I'm probably not going to do that. But if you need me for something, or if I got to be kind about something, I'll definitely do that. But nice, friendly, nah, probably not.
Well, okay. People would say that I'm nice. I would say I'm polite.
Yeah.
That's
there's a difference between all of these things. Like,
I'm polite. I'm going to speak to you. I'm going to acknowledge you until you do something stupid or say something stupid. Now I'm at that big age where I'm also going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
That's just who I am now. Speaking of telling people for being stupid, y'all, if you're not realizing what's going on, we haven't talked politics in a while, and I haven't wanted to, but this I have to speak on because the country is literally going backwards.
Yes. I don't know anything about this because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I checked out after the election. I mean, obviously, I researched for the show, but like every time Washington Post or New York Times pops into my email inbox and I see the headline, I just delete because it's madness. And this is another bit of madness that we have to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about DEI, and we're going to get into that next. So many people don't even understand what DEI is. So let me explain to you what DEI is. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, and organizational frameworks aimed at promoting the fair treatment and full participation of all individuals, particularly those from historically marginalized groups. The primary intention of DEI initiative is to counteract systematic discrimination, ensuring that organizations cultivate a work environment that respects and includes diverse perspectives and backgrounds. This encompasses various practices, including targeted recruitment efforts, resource groups for underrepresented minorities, and training programs designed to mitigate unconscious bias. Now, just from that definition, can you explain to me, Jay, how that could ever be considered a bad thing?
Sure. So if you are of the social political majority and you are used to having your ideas, your decisions, your contributions being the only valid contributions. And now people are saying, no, no, wait. Places like, your workplace actually benefit from having people from diverse backgrounds. It actually increases innovation and engagement and decision making and stuff like that. So let's actually bring more people in. Well, when you see life as a zero-sum game, you think that means that pushes you out, right? And so you don't want anything to come into play that could make you feel what you truly are, which is mediocre.
And so I've said that before, right? We've had this conversation before. A lot of people that are against DEI, they could be for various reasons, but there are some people who just don't want to compete because in that competition, they realize, oh, I thought I was something, but I'm not, right? But
You're right.
but there are some misconceptions about DEI, and you brought up some of them. Let's expand upon that. One of the misconceptions is DEI benefits only specific groups. This leads to some to argue that the DEI programs create reverse discrimination. Critics claim DEI initiatives unfairly prioritize race, gender, or sexual orientation over merit. All of these misconceptions overlooks the fundamental goal of DEI, which is to foster an inclusive culture which everyone has equal opportunity to succeed. I.e., here's an analogy, and I've given it before. There's a gym down the street. All the people that work out know about the gym. There's a whole neighborhood that's right across the street that doesn't know about the gym. Inclusive is that gym reaching out to the neighborhood and saying, hey, we have this gym that's available to all of you guys that's right here that you might not have known about it.
Yeah.
That's DEI. And a lot of people who are thinking about it's race or gender based or sexual orientation and it is unfairly prioritizing them. Guess what? All of these programs unfairly pushed them out. They weren't included. All this program is doing, DEI is saying, hey, look, for those people who didn't know, there are these jobs that are available over here. Well, I don't know about those jobs. Okay, well, here's some information about the job. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm not really qualified for this job. Okay, that's okay that you're not qualified. Maybe one day you will be. Here are some programs where you can get training if you have interest in this field. Oh, that's great.
Right.
That's all it is. Once again, Jay, how is this a bad thing?
Because by reaching out to diverse populations, right? What are you doing? You're expanding the talent pool. Now, in ideally what it's doing is giving you access to not just diverse populations, but top talent that you may have overlooked because maybe they didn't go to an Ivy League school or any number of things. Maybe they didn't know that your company even existed. So by going out and doing these, outreach efforts and everything, you're increasing the talent pool. When you increase the talent pool, people who did not need to be talented before right? Now they have competition.
Yep.
And now they have real competition. And the way that they sort of discourage that is by saying, oh, no, you're just looking at race, gender, and sexual orientation. You're not looking at merit. No. I am widening the talent pool so that I can find top talent. Because what I think ultimately people are realizing is, without DEI, the current talent pool we have is just not that great. We need to expand in order to find top talent. And that means we have to start looking at populations that we previously overlooked for whatever reason, usually discrimination.
So that's one misconception, right? That it unfairly prioritizes race, gender, and sexuality. And there are people that's just like, it's reverse racism. Everybody's against me. We're not saying specifically who these people are, white people. And not all white people, but the white people that don't believe in DEI, right?
Yeah, right.
These are the people that had this misconception. There's a whole other side of misconception with the DEI. DEI programs are unnecessary. There are people that believe that the DEI programs are unnecessary in contemporary society. Skeptics argue systematic inequality has been largely addressed, negating the need for focused efforts in diversity and inclusion. Experts emphasize that while progress has been made, disparities still exist, however, in not only hiring practices, but pay equity and representation at various corporate levels. So you have people out here, one misconception is, everybody done made it, right? Black folks done made it. Latino folks done made it. Women done made it. They good. They see a few people done got some Lexuses and got a nice crib and maybe done furnished it nice. It's like, oh, that means the whole community is good. No, that's not how this country works.
No.
That's not what's happening here. And the clear examples are, still exist disparities in hiring practices, pay equity, and representation at the various corporate levels. A lot of these CEOs, CFOs, vice presidents at these corporate levels, they be real cut and paste of the same type of characteristics. They don't be real diverse. So to say that we have made it, no, we haven't made it.
And it's not just important in business, right? It's important in education. It's important in healthcare. We still see disparities in, like, for healthcare disparities, for instance, right? We're still seeing a higher mortality rate for Black mothers, right? While giving birth. Well, if we support DEI initiatives in healthcare, for example, then we're reducing those disparities because you have now a workforce that can identify with their patient population. You got Black doctors that understand Black patients and understand that even though they still teach this in some medical schools, our skin is not thicker and we don't have a lower pain tolerance. We just don't trust healthcare professionals. So we're not going to tell you we're in pain. We're not going to tell you that things are okay. We just don't trust y'all. And why don't we trust y'all? Because we're not seeing ourselves represented among the healthcare workforce. It's the same with education. You still see disparities in education. Funding to schools in urban and rural areas, things like that. There are so many studies out that talk about the importance of having not just Black educators, but Black male educators. These disparities in a myriad of systems, I would say all of our systems, still exist. Just because you have some people doing good doesn't mean that everybody's doing good. And let's talk about the most vulnerable in our population. Let's talk about trans folks. And are we still seeing, yes is the answer, disparities in their treatment in the corporate world, in healthcare, in education, in housing? We're still seeing. So if the most vulnerable among us are still facing these inequities, we're not done. We're not done. I don't honestly, I don't foresee us ever reaching a destination. I feel like equity is constantly evolving in its definition, and we're gonna have to constantly keep working to make sure that everybody has a buy-in to society.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some of the reasons behind the attacks on DEI? Well, there, of course, if y'all haven't been paying attention, there's been some political changes and increased polarization in public discourse have been spurring some backlash against DEI. So basically, certain politicians have run on the fact that they are taking away from you. That's what they've run on. And they are saying it's all DEI or woke. Once again, half of them can't even give you a definition of DEI. And I know damn sure they can't give you the definition of woke. There's also been corporate responses to the backlashes against DEI from political people, right? So these companies have started scaling back DEI commitments due to fear of legal repercussions, and a hostile political environment. Customer-based sentiments against DEI initiatives perceived as misaligned with personal beliefs. Think about Bud Light and the backlash they got for their LGBTQ plus marketing. And corporations have become cautious to avoid similar pitfalls to these type of situations, which have led to conservative groups leading complete campaigns to get rid of DEI, which the president just did as he signed no more DEI programs in the government, right? So conservative groups, Project 2025, me and my sister told you about that. Y'all didn't want to hear about it, but we told you about that. They are enacting everything. And so when I said at the top, hey, the country is going backwards, all the progress we made to be inclusive and to give everybody a fair shot is being erased.
Yeah, because let's be honest, they don't want everyone to have a fair shot. Because if everyone has a fair shot, then you have to do the work of keeping up with the competition. And when you have historically and in modernity not done the work, enslavement, then having to now do the work seems like an imposition. And you'd rather not include anybody else. You'd rather just keep the status quo.
So let's just be real. What is DEI? I'm going to put it in real simple terms from you. DEI is really about respect, opportunity, and treating people right. That's what it's about. So for all those people who are conservative Christians who have said that DEI wasn't a good program because everything should be based on merit. One, you don't really believe that because, as me and my sisters repeatedly said, if you open up competition, you find out that you're mediocre. So you don't really want that. Okay. But if you're truly a Christian and you truly believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ, now I'm not going to get up here and start preaching, but I'm just talking to conservative Christians because I see a lot in that community. And you truly believe in the teachings of Jesus, treating folks right is like top of the list, right? Being fair is like top of the list. Having compassion and empathy is like at the top of the list, right?
Yeah, I feel like one of Jesus's like main things was inclusion.
Yeah.
Like bringing people, especially people from vulnerable populations, especially people who are ostracized or pushed into the margins of the community, bringing them all to the table.
Yeah, he was a fan of the hoes.
But anyway,
what? I don't get what that all is about.
I just wouldn't have phrased it that way. I'm like the way I phrased it.
Well, he was a fan of the hoes. Let's just be real. He had a prostitute right by his side.
Listen,
supposedly.
That supposedly, because again, the representation of women in the Bible is highly suspect. But
Yeah.
at any rate, what is diversity, equity, and inclusion? It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. It ain't that. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult, you guys. If you don't want your workplace, your school, your hospitals, wherever to be diverse, to offer equity to everyone, and to make people feel included, I don't know what to tell you, but it doesn't make you that great of a person.
There is a flip side to this. Hear me out on this.
Oh boy.
Hear me out.
Mhm.
So, Equal Opportunity Act is an act in hiring, I believe, for employers, is that you can't be denied a job based on the very things that DEI is talking about, right?
Right.
Your race, your religion, all that type of stuff. DEI effectively gets rid of that, right? Because now you don't have to be diverse, equitable, and inclusive, which means now that if you own a company and you like, who'd you vote for? Because you can ask that question. Potentially, legally, there's some gray area here, but potentially, an employer can say, who'd you vote for? And if you said, I voted for Trump, go ahead and get out of my office. They've opened the door to segregating themselves and eliminating opportunities for themselves. Now, it just so happens that a lot of these corporations and the richest people in the world are bending the knee to this hatred. But we've seen throughout history that eventually things like this in the long run lose, right? This is a losing proposition because anytime that you push out hate, eventually the people that are rocking with you, they're actually going to feel that hate too. Because when you've eliminated all the people that you actually hate, you got to turn the hate to somebody else. Let me give you a point throughout our history. At one point, white people really hated black people so much that they enslaved us. But also, they really hated Irish people, Italian people, anybody that wasn't what they considered American, even though they all came from these countries. So eventually, these groups that were also included in hating black people found out, oh, we're getting hated as well. Jewish people are starting to find out, hey, wait a minute. I thought Trump was a fan of the Jewish people, but he is really bringing in all of these people, especially with Elon Musk doing basically a Nazi salute, that are not fans of Jewish people. There, I know Jewish people that voted for him
Yeah.
twice, but didn't vote for him the third time because they finally saw what I was trying to tell them 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And now they're sickened. They're sending me stuff, and I was like, yeah. Oh, Elon Musk is a Nazi sympathizer. You just now realizing that? Like I told you this about a year or two ago. No, but I didn't. But yeah, but like I could see it because I've seen the hatred before. I know that aura of hatred. I see it coming from miles away. So
And
it's
that
gonna
is
come
a
to you.
good example of why DEI is important.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a bunch of people who don't have that kind of perspective, right? They're all living in this bubble where they miss that perspective because you and I have to have a certain perspective being black. We have to understand whiteness at a certain depth, right? In order to just operate in this country, I have to have a certain knowledge as a woman because I have to understand men and masculinity to operate safely in this country. So your DEI opens up the door to diverse perspectives. What that does is give you more information, which helps you make better decisions, helps you be more innovative, more creative. You gave a perfect illustration of why DEI is so important. Because that person would have remained in that bubble and possibly voted for him a third time had not they had the perspective of someone who sits in a different seat of knowledge.
Mm. That's the reason why you're on the show. Because I said all that real dumb and she smartened it up. You see what I'm saying? I give up alley-oops and she slam dunk it. See, that's the reason why my sister's on the show. You see, how to be successful in life is that you have smarter people around you than yourself to help you in your weak points. I'm not well spoken. My sister is. She'll use words like impugn. Still don't know how to spell it, but that's what she does.
Sound it out. Sound it out.
Impugn. Hooked on phonics did not work for me. So that's no, but it's true. And even though we are Black people, I know we in our winter white phase right now. We experience that every single day. And people are always like, well, you're talking about race. Well, you're talking about race. I don't see color. First of all, you're lying to yourself. A person told me that is fairly close to me. It was like, I don't see color. I was like, well, you're lying to yourself because absolutely you see color.
And also, we never asked you for that.
Yes.
We never asked you for that. I am Black. It's okay to see me as my color is not the problem.
No, exactly.
It is the response to my color that's the problem.
There you go.
I have no problem with being Black. Black's not an issue.
I'm Black and extremely proud. I would not want to be anything else in the world. I love being Black.
I don't mind that you see. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that color doesn't inform your decisions on how to treat people. That is a lie.
You know, when people say something, all right, I'm about to go real left with this analogy, but follow me here.
Okay.
I've been going real left on this episode already. I've been throwing Jesus on the bus, but he know I'm just playing. He gave me this sense of humor. He know I'm just playing. All right. You know how people say something?
Yeah.
And they throw out that warning and like, hey, I'm not going to do this, but they end up doing it. Case in point, maybe you have somebody come over to visit you and they say, hey, just to let you know, I'm not going to sleep with you. Now, you didn't bring up sleeping with them at all, right? They just brought that up, which means that you probably realize it's on their mind, not on your mind. And guess what? They end up sleeping with you. And so it's just like you trying to convince yourself. That's all you're trying to do by saying something like that. And so when you say, well, I don't see color, you're just trying to convince yourself. You want to be a good person. Not to say that, you know, if you go over to somebody's house to sleep with them, you're not a good person. That was an analogy just saying, I was just using that as an example. But like people want to be a good person. They want to see themselves as a good person. Nobody wants to see themselves as a villain. Not really. Right. So yes, you're going to lie to yourself. You're lying to yourself if you believe that you don't see color. Because I see color.
And you can't help but have it inform the decisions that you make and the way that you treat people. Because I mean, that's just how our society is set up. Certain people are villainized and certain people are held as a standard. And we have all internalized that to some degree, right? And so we're constantly, if you are woke, constantly checking yourself, not just calling other people in, but calling yourself in. It's a constant work in progress, but don't act like I don't. That's a very definitive thing to say for it to just not be true. So also, because I know somebody's going to say it, I know impugn is not a word. I don't know if you meant imbue or impunity, but I know somebody's going to ask. I know somebody's going to say it. You said impugn.
When did I say that?
You said that I use words like impugn, and I was like, I don't even know what that is.
Okay. Well, whatever words you use, I got it wrong.
Neither here nor there. I just knew it would come up. I knew somebody was going to say something about it. But the whole issue.
Not everybody is us. Not everybody has to point out flaws.
Well, that's true. Well, the person who is currently occupying the Oval Office did sign an executive order getting rid of the Equal Employment Act, I believe. Maybe I'm making that up.
A lot of these executive orders, though, that he's signing have already been, like, as soon as he signs them, there's a lawsuit. So a lot of these
Oh yeah, for sure.
so.
Yeah, he tried by executive order to revoke the Equal Employment Opportunity Act. Because again, this whole issue with DEI, everything, it's very simple. They don't want you to expand the talent pool. Period. They do not want the talent pool expanded. They want to be the only ones considered. They want to be the only ones considered because you don't want to have to put in the work to compete fairly and honestly. It's very, very simple. This is not going to return us to a time of meritocracy. There was never in this country ever a meritocracy. Ever. There never, ever was. People, the founding of this nation, the people who founded this nation, okay? There was never, ever any meritocracy. They were the richest land-owning people. Men. White men. Like, it is not a meritocracy. This country was not built on that. Stop lying. And we're seeing the effects, right? So affirmative action was struck down. And now you're seeing a decrease in Asian enrollment in some universities, like Yale, for example. Well, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Because this country, again, it's not a meritocracy. It never was. You don't see color. This country's a meritocracy. Stop lying. Stop lying to all of us. We're not dumb. And you want to know why we're not dumb? Because we sit in a different seat of knowledge from you so we could see what's going on in a way that you can't, or either that you won't admit to yourself or that you know and you're standing on business on it. That you don't want this, you don't want to expand the talent pool. You don't want everyone to be on equal footing. You don't want equity in this country. Period. Lying ass. Stand on business. Stand on it. Right? Am I right? Like, am I tripping? Like, stand on business. If you want to be real, be like, hey, look, I'm not trying to put up the numbers I got to put up in order to be competitive in whatever industry, when normally, you know, the hiring manager would just look at me, and if my resume was acceptable enough, I got the job. If my name was the right kind of name, if it was pronounceable, I got admission. Right? If my skin was a certain color and I'm cisgender, then I have better health outcomes. I can live in this neighborhood. And that's the truth.
That's the truth, Ruth.
I almost said Ruth. But I was like, I'm trying to be like serious. So I'm like, I'm not going to say that's the truth, Ruth. But I almost did. So I'm kind of glad you did.
All right, if y'all don't get that, watch Do the Right Thing. Actually, you'll learn something. But we're going to talk about placentas.
For some reason.
We're going to talk about that next. Placenta-What. I can't say that 5 times fast.
I cannot.
Me neither. Toy spelling has sparked considerable interest and laughter with the recent revelation regarding placenta consumption. I said that right.
Yes.
Placenta consumption. Mm-hmm. During an episode of her podcast, Misspelling, Spelling shared that she has kept multiple placentas stored in her freezer, specifically mentioning 2 that belong to her children. Although she's unsure which placenta belongs to which child, she clarified that keeping placentas is a common practice, often linked to benefits about good luck or health benefits, though she jokingly admitted her laziness is sending them off for processing into pills. I'm going to expand on this, but she said it's a common practice. And obviously there is a term for it. We say at the top, and it's becoming popular among new mothers. And but that's because of celebrity endorsements. So is it common practice or is it just common practice in her small circle?
It is common in nature, but is it common in like human culture? It happens. I even thought about it personally. I'm still on the fence. I would definitely have it encapsulated if like I wouldn't eat it like I wouldn't just like eat it. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about it. I'm gonna be honest, I did think about it. I don't know that there's enough like research on the actual benefits, which is why I'm like, I don't really think so. I am gonna keep the cord blood though, because that has, oh gosh, what is that? It's like oh my gosh, I can't think of it right now, but there's a reason to keep the cord blood. But yeah, it's okay.
Well, this is the thing that tripped me out as I was reading up on this. She said once again in her podcast, misspelling, which okay, that's clever. It is clever.
That is, yes.
She told the story that her and her ex-husband actually cooked and ate one of her placentas. She described the experience by saying that
stem cells. That's what I meant. Stem cells. Yes.
She described the experience that it's kind of tasty if you season it well. Which, by the way, I'm just gonna go on the fact that it's probably not seasoned well. Tori Spelling looks really bland to me as a person, so I'm gonna just assume she don't know how to season. Now, if she was from the South, even though she looked bland, and I'm not talking about just her skin tone, because I know Plantini, the little TikTok cook, Teeny, she looked bland, but her food is not bland. So
right. So you never don't judge a book by its cover. You never know. Tori Spelling could throw down in the kitchen. We don't know.
I'm going to assume that she can't. And I'm going to assume that she especially can't season no placenta well enough to put it on the table and have me eat it like her and her ex-husband did. Now, I'm also, in the words of my best friend, a chicken finger eating bitch. But
yes.
But also that sounds gross. But she runs by this childhood lesson that she learned when she was a child, obviously, that to try everything once. And I don't believe in that lesson, to try everything once, because you're gonna try some poop. Right. I'm not gonna eat no poop.
I'm not.
That's ridiculous to me.
Back bottom gristle lumps? No.
What is that?
Remember on you remember the Ladies' Man?
Yes. Right, ladies and gentlemen, Ladies' Man is a movie starring, I don't remember who was starring. He was on SNL.
Tim. Oh gosh.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're struggling today. I don't know. My sister got a lot of stuff going on. I've been forgetful lately. I don't know what's doing. That's right. Yes. The Ladies' Man starring Tim Meadows, which is hilarious. Hilary Banks from Fresh Prince is also in that movie.
Karen Parsons. Yes.
Karen Parsons. Funny movie.
Yes.
So me and my sister just referencing that. Y'all would have to watch the movie to understand that. But but anyway, not everything is to be eaten. But they did say that there has been a little bit of research that there is some, slight scientific evidence to support the benefits, even though this is limited.
I have I have seen no scientific study that
Okay,
proves
well,
it, but
that's what these people that are promoting it are saying, but
right,
there's a lot of experts and medical experts that are warning against this.
yeah,
Well, they remain skeptical. And
yeah,
the CDC is also like, look, eating a placenta, I don't know about that, citing concerns over potential for contamination and lack of umbilical evidence supporting claims of health benefits.
yeah,
So, I mean, yeah, you can eat that stuff if you want to, but and that don't necessarily mean this going to be good for you. And there could be a placebo effect, right? People could be
right,
thinking, oh, I eat this and this makes me feel so much better. No, you're thinking it's making you feel better. So when you eat it, you feel better. It's called a placebo effect.
yeah,
Please, ladies and gentlemen, just we learned placebo effect in biology class or something like
hmm,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. If y'all don't know what that is, I'm not going to explain it to you.
So, like, people believe that eating the placenta has, health benefits. It can prevent postpartum depression and things like that. Again, I'm on the fence about it because I haven't seen any, scientific studies like proving these benefits. But like, yeah, I think you might be right. It could be a little bit of placebo effect. Like people are like, oh, I ate my placenta, so I feel great. Like, do you feel great because you ate it, or you feel great because you think it did something for you? So, like, I don't know. But
Alcohol is supposed to be a depressant, but every time I drink it, I feel good.
right. So it's like, who knows? I don't
Who
know.
knows?
But yeah, I'm on the fence about that. But I think that it's common in certain cultures. I think I've read that it's an ingredient in a lot of traditional Chinese medicine, things like that. Um, mm,
I think I
I'm never going. I'm not going to judge nobody. I thought about it myself, but I got to see some more evidence.
well, you're being a good person about it, and you say you're not going to ever judge nobody. I'm going to judge them, and I'm going to judge you as well because this seems like it's nasty as hell to me. And yes, granted, granted,
I mean, I
I'm
mean, I,
literally eating chicken fingers and French fries and potato chips. That's all I want in my life. I don't like to expand my palate, but this seems super expansive and gross and disgusting.
well, I mean, eating something that comes from your own body is, yeah, I get that. You know, we ain't got to do everything animals do. Um, Animals do it. It's a food source for them, and it's to prevent predation. Right? You don't want this hunk of flesh attracting predators when you just gave birth, right? So you get rid of it. So we ain't got to do everything they do. We don't have to. I know a lot of people are like, oh, this plant-based diet is how certain animals eat and da, da, da. Okay, but again, we're different. We're also animals, I get that, but we're different. Our physiology is different, so I would say, hey, look into it a little bit more. you know?
Look, I would say this. This animals have stronger stomachs than us. Animals would
That
eat anything.
yeah.
Y'all can barely, y'all eat a piece of chicken that isn't cooked just right.
I
You
had to
got the
take a
stomach
piece of
virus.
aluminum foil away from Roscoe. He was gonna eat aluminum foil.
Roscoe will eat anything.
Yeah, so I mean, you gotta, hey, we can't do everything they do.
Yeah. I mean, we're supposed to be a little bit more civilized. It seems like this whole show has been about how much we're regressing as a society as whole in the human race.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought we were supposed to be evolving and getting
N-
smarter. We're
no, no,
regressing.
no, 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 no. See, the more knowledge you have, the more you realize your own insignificance.
Mm,
And when that happens, people are like, well, now I'm going to put my fingers in my ears and my head in the sand because I don't like to feel that I'm just one person among billions of people. And I might not matter as much as I thought I did.
that's real.
Yeah.
That's really the real deal Holyfield. And know how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Ladies and
already
gentlemen.
said hoes. I don't know why you won't say it again. Do we have a
Yeah.
number count on hoe?
No, I just don't want to. I don't want to be like demonetized by YouTube by putting lyrics, and then they were like, "Oh, you're copyright infringement," and all that type
Oh,
of stuff.
gotcha. Yeah.
That's a whole thing. But
It's
on
a
that note,
fine line to walk.
yeah,
Yeah.
on that note, I could tell that we're running out of steam, and and we still got some other stuff to film. This is another thing that y'all don't get, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody said to Detour to go back to the 200th episode coming out next week. Somebody was like, and y'all should make the show longer. Thank you. No. And I tell you why. No. My sister has one day, and in that day, a specific time frame that we could film. In that time frame, we are filming the main show, the Sibling Happy Hour. We are filming the After Hours Uncensored, and we're filming YouTube exclusives. It takes 2 hours if she's on time. She ain't never on time, although she
I was on time today because I am extremely busy today.
Right.
So I'm like, we got to get this going.
Okay, so no, we are not going to make this show longer. Plus, this is infringing on my Sunday Fun Day. I ain't had Sunday Fun Day. That's not true. I just pack it, which means that I'm really struggling on Monday. So we're not going to do that. But, Jay, what do you want to lead the people with today?
Oh, I feel like I said plenty today. It's funny because I thought because I'm so busy right now with school and everything, I thought I was going to phone this episode in, but you picked some good topics and you got me going. So, hey, stop lying to yourself about your positions on things. Like if you believe something, like just be 10 toes down on it. If you're a racist, just be that and let us operate with you accordingly. Like that's how it is. Like don't lie in people's face so that they don't treat you differently. If you know that us knowing that you're a racist will have us treat you differently, and maybe you should rethink being a racist. I don't know, but just be 10 toes down on whatever you believe in 2025, because we got to fight.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew, that was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister, and once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspective.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling genuine and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace. Freedom over fame. Freedom over fame. The cycle.